As a coach, you cannot ask for any more than I've been given here. And so now it's up to us. We roll up our sleeves as soon as possible.
Mike Holmgren got right after it.
You have very high goals set for the organization, and you think you can fix anything. That's your attitude. I don't care what the problem is, we're going to deal with it and fix it, and hopefully the ultimate goal is the Super Bowl. And I said, why not here?
When Mike came in his first day, I remember he saying that, if you listen to me, if you do what I say, I promise you guys I'll get y'all to a Super Bowl. And I think he came in and changed the standard.
In his first season, the Seahawks broke a 10-year playoff drought, going 9-7 to win the AFC West. The season would end with a loss to Dan Marino and the Dolphins, final game in the Kingdome. The 2000s began with 2 seasons at Husky Stadium, while Seahawks Stadium was being built. The Hawks would again start a playoff drought, but the foundation was being solidified.
Come on. That's what we want.
Robbie Tobeck joined Walter Jones and Chris Gray on the offensive line, which eventually added Steve Hutchinson.
Being a part of that group, a part of the group that's thought of as one of the top offensive lines in history, it's a really cool thing, and it's a real badge of honor because you work your butt off to get to a certain level, and to have other people say that, yeah, you got to that level. That's a really neat thing.
To run behind that line, Seattle drafted Shaun Alexander. He played sparingly in the first season before becoming one of the top running backs of the decade.
He's across midfield, he's on the run, inside the 40.
I thought this is way farther away for them from Alabama than I thought. We flew, we stopped somewhere. I'm like, what is going on? Why would we stop to get somewhere? So I'd never been to Washington State, but I grew to love it. This is going to be where, this 22-year-old kid is going to go figure out life, and it just went well for me.
And Shaun had a knack for getting in the end zone. Anytime we got inside the 15, Shaun had a knack for getting in. And I think he had exceptional speed where I don't think people thought he was fast, but when he got through the hole, guys never did catch him.
The 5, touchdown Seahawks!
In 2001, Mike Holmgren traded for Matt Hasselbeck, who had backed up Brett Favre during Holmgren's time in Green Bay.
I was really excited that Mike Holmgren traded for me, because when I was in Green Bay, my rookie year, I'm not sure if he knew my first name. I remember someone ran into Brett Favre at practice. Mike stops practice, he calls up everybody, and he's like, hey, if anybody gets near Brett Favre again, I will fire you and your coach. It's not that I don't have faith in our backups, Doug Peterson, Rick Meyer, and Hasselbeck, but we are a 500 team without Brett Favre. That's what he said. And so at that moment, I felt like, well, he doesn't know my first name. So when he traded for me, I guess 3 years later, I was a little bit surprised.
Hasselbeck and Trent Dilfer would rotate as the starting quarterbacks until mid-2002. The Hawks won the final 3 games of the season, with Hasselbeck throwing for a franchise record 449 yards in an overtime win against the Chargers.
The next year in 2003, we were really good on third down. We were really good in red zone. I think you saw the makings, and I think we felt the makings of what we could be consistently.
2003, Seattle opens the season with a decisive victory over the Saints, the first season-opening win since 1986. It becomes the first 10-win season in 17 years, setting up a postseason showdown with the Packers that goes to overtime, where
we want the ball, we're going to score. I have no regrets about we want the ball, we're going to score. I actually am somewhat proud of it. I regret that I threw the interception that ended up losing us the game, but losing in 2003 in the last play of the game, and then losing in 2004 in the last play of the game against the Rams, for me personally, propelled us to the year that we had in 2005.
2005, the season where it all comes together. After starting the campaign at 2-2, the Hawks run off a club record 11 straight wins.
You start putting games together, and you just never want it to end. You can't wait to get in the building. You can't wait to get to work. You can't wait to get to next week. Everything is roses, and it's good because you're winning.
They set another team record with 320 rushing yards as Shaun Alexander scores 4 touchdowns against Houston on Sunday Night Football.
I just wanted to go rip that place up, you know what I mean? And be like, hey, this is what we're doing out here. And my best games in my whole career were always on Sunday night and Monday night.
They beat the Cowboys on Josh Brown's 50-yard field goal as time expired. Alexander keeps on running, 173 yards, including an 88-yard touchdown against the Cardinals. Then, a 42-0 blowout of the Eagles on a snowy Monday night in December. The Hawks ended a 21-year playoff drought without a win by taking care of Washington in the divisional game. Matt Hasselbeck running for a touchdown and throwing for another. That set up the NFC title game against the Panthers and a special raising of the 12 flag.
You know, the emotion of it really, got to me. I think, when the fans were going, thank you, Paul, and kind of got a chant going like that. And then they showed the video clip talking about going to Husky games with my dad. I got choked up. So it was a special moment. And then just to feel the sheer energy of the crowd right before the kickoff and what a fantastic game followed. I mean, it was just an incredible memory I'll always have.
Hasselbeck was 20 for 28 with 2 touchdowns. Alexander ran all over the field for 132 yards and a pair of scores. The defense held the Panthers to 14 points, sacking Jake Delhomme twice and intercepting 3 passes. A 34-14 win and Seattle's first trip to the Super Bowl.
The championship game is like one of my great memories that I have from my life. Us realizing that we won the game and kind of doing laps around what was then Quest Field, high-fiving the fans. That was awesome.
You're a Pro Bowl player or whatever, that's a dream come true, and that's a really cool thing, but none of it compares to just getting to that Super Bowl. The intensity on the field is unmatched with anything. Unmatched.
That Super Bowl, it's just different. And, and if you ever get a chance to go be in one, it's so special.
Super Bowl 40 in Detroit wasn't just a game. It was a statement. The Seahawks had arrived. And with their arrival came the hoopla and the hype, fueled by Media Day, which kicked off Super Bowl week in grand fashion. The Seahawks were up against a cornerstone franchise in the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers, whose fans made the 4.5-hour drive to Detroit and turned Ford Field into a virtual home field advantage for their Steelers. The Seahawks started fast, only to have Darrell Jackson's touchdown catch nullified when he got flagged for pass interference in the end zone. It was a questionable call at best, setting the tone for several more to follow, leaving Seattle coaches, players, and fans mystified. In the end, the Seahawks lost 21-10, but established a new standard for football in Seattle.
You end up losing a Super Bowl game that if you talk to pretty much any of the coaches, certainly for the Seahawks, they said we were the better team. And it just didn't happen that day.
We land back here in Seattle, and we're driving up probably the 405, and just to see the amount of fans, the amount of 12s that came out, and we lost.
Seahawks! Seahawks!
There at the facility when we got back, that was incredible. I mean, that support was incredible. And we lost.
The Seahawks would win the division 2 more times before Mike Holmgren left after the 2008 season.
I loved my job. I wanted respect. I wanted to earn respect from the other coaches. That they would look at me across the field or when we'd shake hands at the beginning of the game and say, he's pretty good. This is going to be a tough one.
And following the forgotten 2009 campaign, everything changed once again with the stunning hire of a Trojan chief.
If you know anything at all about me, I can't pass up a competitive challenge. And you could challenge me right now, and I'll go right now. And I'm nuts for it. So what this next step presents is the challenge of a lifetime.